What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Get 'em Podcast, where we talk about all the things that excite us, piss us off, and all the above in the gaming industry. I'm your host, Nick, with my co-host here, Stu. How are we doing today, bud?
I'm doing great, Nick. It's our third podcast, and I actually just recently acquired a new microphone, as you well know.
hmm
I got a snowball, a pop filter, a boom arm.
You
It's getting
definitely,
professional.
yeah, you
We're
definitely sound a lot better.
we're doing the works. It's happening.
Yeah, yeah,
It's also really great. We have an awesome episode today that I'm really excited about. We're talking about battle royales as a genre as a whole. It's near and dear to my heart, so I'm ready to do this.
yeah, definitely. Battle Royale has always been a thing that's excited me. When I first started playing them, I really got into the idea of being basically the best of that game. You know what I mean? Because it really does. It gives you a sense of accomplishment when you start out with whether it's a squad or just solo queue. It gives you that sense of I am better than, for PUBG, for instance, 100 people that
Right.
land it. I am, well, 99 technically. I'm better than 99 other people. Where in most games like Call of Duty and stuff, you just have a lobby that you're better. So,
No, I agree, and it's also one of those things where you might not be the best with the guns, but maybe you have the at least with PUBG more so than like Fortnite or something.
mhm.
You have the tactical side, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna place my character in the right spot, even if I don't have the best gun skills, because I placed myself correctly. I won, or I have superior gun skills. I won a confrontation that I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Um, it is. I mean, it is definitely. It's exciting to play. It puts you more on the edge. You know what I mean? Because you literally have to. If you die, you're just gone. I mean, there's nothing that you can do. You
Right.
got to go into the lobby again
Mhm.
and relook for another match. Where most games you can just spawn back in. So it really does. It puts you on edge to make you
Right.
even a better player because you have to
Mhm.
learn how other people are going to play in order to just basically survive. Um,
Absolutely.
so I know you had a couple things that you wanted to add on about. Pretty much, I'm going to let you just take it away today, talking about the books and everything that you figured out. So just go ahead, take it on,
I
buddy.
mean, recently in the last, what has it been, 4, 5-ish years? Not less than that even. I mean, PUBG exploded in 2017, so the last 2 years, almost 3 years,
hmm
the battle royale has really grown and exploded. But I think we really need to understand where it came from, where it started, and then it didn't start in 2017. It was years before that. So the first time we ever really saw a battle royale genre, the beginning, the start, was actually 1996. Um, There was a book that first came out called Battle Royale, very fitting for the genre. It was written by a Japanese gentleman named Koshin Takami.
Wow.
And the kind of synopsis of the book was that 42 ninth graders are sent to a deserted island. They're given a map, food, and various weapons. An explosive collar is fitted around their neck, and if they break any rules that are set in place, the collar explodes, instantly killing them. Their mission is to kill each other and be the last one standing. The last survivor is allowed to leave the island, and if there is more than one survivor, the collar explodes and kills everyone. Really, your incentive is just to go ham and kill everyone, and that was just kind of the book. That was the idea. Got a lot
Yeah.
of criticism, if you will, just due to the fact that it was kids, right? It was ninth graders.
hmm You know that really reminds me. I don't know if you played much of the Fallout, but there is a couple camps in, I believe, I want to say Fallout 3, I do believe,
Yeah.
that they have slave collars, which is basically the same thing. Whereas if not necessarily in the same sense, but if they leave a certain area, literally the first time that you experience these collars, this guy comes running out of this camp, and then his head just pops right in front of you, and you're just like, bro, what was that? And later on, you go in there and you find out that they have explosive collars because they're not allowed to leave.
Dang.
So obviously, I don't remember when Fallout 3 came out, but it was definitely a lot later
Right.
than this book was made. So
Right. So the book was completed, like the author finished the book in 1996, but it wasn't actually published until 3 years later in 1999, due to the concerns of, students killing each other. I mean, that's
yeah,
not exactly a family idea. It's not one of those things that you discuss typically.
yeah.
Um, but it did become a bestseller, and it was a cult classic, and everyone loved it. I think we got it in the United States, like an English translation in 2003 is when we actually ended.
Oh wow.
In the year 2000, became a manga, also written by Takumi. He took care of that. In the year 2000 as well, they turned it into a movie, and it was one of the year's highest grossing films, but it was condemned by Japan's national diet, which is actually like the House of Representatives. It's basically their government, their body, their elected officials.
Hmm.
They kind of gave it crap again for the whole students killing each other vibe that was going on. There was a second movie in 2003, really didn't do as well. And then we kind of went stale for, the next about 9 years. We didn't really see much in this realm of fight to the death, survival of the fittest genre.
Yeah.
Then, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins came out, which was pretty big.
Yeah. So actually, with the Hunger Games, I've seen every single movie. I've read every single book
Mhm.
by Susan, and I really like the fact that that she made this book. I mean, I know that it's kind of like a ripoff from
Right.
the books that were made before and the movies that were made before, but the way that she depicted it and also just marketed it, it took off that way. I mean,
Oh,
people
absolutely.
enjoyed it because it was kind of like a love movie kind of deal. Like
Yeah, it had those
she loved
aspects.
Peter, and then she also loved or Peta,
PETA.
Peta,
The bread
Peta.
man.
Yeah, and then she also what was the other guy's name? Um, I'm
It's
drawing a
been years
blank.
since I've read
Yeah,
those.
but I mean, it was kind of like it was really interesting to see how it all worked out in the end. I mean, it was good. It kept me entertained the whole time that I read the books, and then also watched the movies. So,
Right. I mean, it was while obviously taking pretty much the same exact ideas, there was that fantasy spin on it. It was
hmm,
dystopian society. It didn't really have any recognition in what we deal with today.
yeah,
We had what was it, 13 colonies, I think it was, something
hmm,
like that.
13
And he had
districts. They called them districts.
districts, colonies, whatever. He had to send them in and then he fought for entertainment. Whereas this was just like, yeah, you need to kill each other.
Yeah.
Um, but it's interesting that, the different ways that it came, because like in the Hunger Games, everyone started in the same spot. They started around the central
Hmm.
hub, if you
Yeah.
will, and then all the best weapons and stuff were actually there.
A
So
lot of
that was
people
a
just ran
really,
away
really
from.
right, exactly. A lot of people dipped. Some people fought to the death right there to try to get the best
Yeah.
stuff, to get the food, to get the medicine, to get the weapons. But actually, this Hunger Games translated towards video games.
Hmm.
There was a mod in 2012 in Minecraft that was called Hunger Games. There's probably some sort of copyright issue at some point because they eventually changed it to a survival game, calling it on their servers.
Hmm.
But it was set up just like the movies were in the books. Like everyone started in the center. You could choose to fight in the middle, trying to get the good stuff, or you run away and loot elsewhere.
Yeah.
Last survivor wins, kind of just the typical thing that we've seen. That was pretty big. I mean, I remember it was a really cool kind of first implementation of a video game. Now there was older stuff back in like the 90s, and there were different games that had a multiplayer last person survival mechanic. We didn't really see this type of thing where it's solely fight to the death. This is it.
Yeah.
And it didn't really take the gaming community by storm, but it definitely was like, oh hey, yeah, this is more or less a thing.
Hmm.
H1Z1, I mean, I'm sure you know what that is. A lot
I
of people
do.
know what the game is. That started out in 2016. It was kind of weird because it kept changing publishers and developers, and they kept switching the names around and the game modes around. So it wasn't really a concrete example of the Battle Royale franchise in the series.
Hmm.
But it was extremely buggy. It was weird. I never got into it. It was a third person. I don't think they ever really went into person at all. It just never really took off. I mean, I know there was a bunch of like events that they had in like 2017, 2016 timeframe. Um,
Yeah,
but then
a lot
PUBG,
of big streamers got into it. Like I think Ninja made his name basically there. He started getting a lot of publicity from there.
well, I know Ninja was Halo bit. I know Summit
Summit
was
was in there as well.
huge with H1Z1. You have the Summit clip where he punches his
Yeah.
monitor.
Well, you also know the
Um,
Ninja clip where he freaks out on that little kid in
oh yeah,
H1Z1.
yeah,
So, I mean,
that's definitely a classic.
a lot of the streamers did play H1Z1.
And I
Um,
think if it wasn't for streamers though, that game would have died
no,
right
that
away.
might
I
be
mean,
true with
you
a
can
lot of games.
probably say that with any game
Yeah,
nowadays, but streaming back then wasn't as big as it,
it
not
was
by any
not.
stretch of the
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, but taking that whole streamer aspect,
Mm,
PUBG, um, really changed how gaming works and how companies interact with, their player base, the streamers. PUBG changed everything.
it
And I
did.
don't know if that's I don't even think that's an understatement. I mean, I think we all know Fortnite is a bigger game than PUBG.
Hmm.
They did things better, which we'll get into, but without PUBG, Fortnite wouldn't have existed. It just wouldn't.
Yeah.
PUBG was created by Brendan Green. He's kind of while it wasn't the first battle royale series game, he's really credited with pushing it forward and making it as big as it. He had worked on battle royale mod to DayZ back in 2013. So this is kind of back with the Minecraft era time frame. He then got picked up by a couple different people. Worked on H1Z1 for a bit actually in the beginning, back in like 2016.
Mm,
Um, and then Bluehole ended up picking him up, which is a South Korean gaming company who primarily focused on mobile games, which, in my opinion, is their reason PUBG didn't do as big. It didn't get as big as it could have. PUBG could have done way better, and it still did phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I mean, by the end of 2017, so the game released in March 2017 as an early access pre-order game, and by
hmm.
the end of the year, it sold 20 million.
Wow.
I don't know if there was really a game that sold as much as that did in the time frame that it was
Yeah.
at the time, at least. In September 2017, the game broke previous records for the highest number of current players on Steam, over 1.3 million users playing the game simultaneously. And it
Wow.
blew up on Twitch too. I mean, it was the top of the charts pretty much all the time. I mean, you
Hmm.
had some really big streamers playing, Twitch. You had Shroud playing who had, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people,
Yeah.
easily 50,000 daily.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I believe did PUBG release first on PC and then go into an early access with Xbox
Yeah,
um,
so PUBG was out for I think well over a year before it came to
before?
Xbox.
Yeah. So I think that really helped boost their sales because not only were they targeting one place now, they were targeting two markets with Xbox
Sure.
because not everybody gets to enjoy the master race. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
So
I'm there.
but I will say this, that PC has it a lot better than Xbox because I just don't think that the Xbox can actually handle the massive, uh, just the expansion of that map and all
Right.
the guns and all the gunfire and everything happening. I just don't think Xbox, even the Xbox One X, though the graphics are better and it's not as buggy because when you first land in, it looks like you're landing into Play-Doh. And it never,
If
ever
if you
got
get the
fixed.
building. I
That's
mean, sometimes
if,
you don't get the buildings.
yeah, sometimes you don't even get the buildings. So that never happens on PC. I just think that it was a little bit too much for the Xbox, which might have deterred a lot of people from buying it once they saw that. So I don't know.
I think some of the big issues that happen, I mean, the game since its early launch has just been plagued with bugs and
Yeah,
bad
pretty bad.
servers, bad communication, just bad. And while the game is amazing and so much fun, at least it was, it's just there's just bad management of it, right? I mean, Blue Hole, like I said before, South Korean company. They primarily before this primarily did mobile games. So there's a
Yeah.
different mentality when it comes to mobile games, non-mobile games. I
Hmm.
mean, mobile games pretty much when it's released, it's released. You don't really touch it after that. If there's bugs, whatever, suck it up, deal with it. Like there's really not a whole lot done with, unfortunately. Whereas with games nowadays, if there are bugs, which every game has, uh, they're worked on. Whereas, the release for PUBG, it just took forever for things to be fixed, and it really disheartened a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. But they also PUBG did also come to mobile gaming, and I believe that that helped them take off a little bit. I don't know if you ever played the mobile game,
Mm,
but it was actually not too bad. When I first played it, I think it was riddled with bots, because they
Right.
couldn't fill in the servers and everything, so they just put bots in. Because I'd be running around smoking everyone, and I was like, "Am I a pro mobile player? Because I'm pretty sure I am." and then once the game started getting more recognized and people jumped in there, and then people, I don't know if you ever see on like Instagram and Facebook where they try to sell like the hand controllers and stuff for phones.
Yeah.
And people were hooking those up, and I think you can even hook up your Xbox controller because it is through Bluetooth. Um, and then people were hopping on there and just smoking you. But I
I
mean,
just it was weird because, with the mobile, I think a lot of people Xbox and a lot of people on PC got pissed off because like they're working on a mobile version. It felt greedy. They want to make more money because all
mhm,
the stuff you can buy, while the Xbox and the PC version was still riddled with bugs and
yeah,
things that they easily could have fixed had they spent the time and money developing the mobile just into the standard game.
yeah, I agree. Um, a great game overall, though. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So,
Oh, for sure. I mean, we've had great times playing that
mhm.
game together. I mean,
Uh,
it's a blast.
and
That it's just
I have plans of playing it more now that it's on PC and we can play on PC together because
amen to that.
I really do think that PC was the way to go with that game. And they always got the release or the updates and the guns and the new
Right.
stuff all the time first because it basically is a PC game.
So, PUBG, massive game,
Hmm.
changed the way just the gaming industry worked more or less and how it functioned with its interactions and all that.
Yeah,
But then Epic got involved. Um, Epic released Fortnite game, the base cooperative survival game. I think you can play up to 4 people is the way the initial thing. PvE style game that was released in 2017.
I remember that.
It's yeah, this was when it came out, everyone was like, "Meh, okay, cool." No one
That
really cared. It
that's
wasn't big.
Yeah, that's because the PvP was free and the PvE actually cost or the
Right, but
yeah.
the Battle Royale hadn't come out yet. Just Fortnite
Hmm.
released. I don't remember how much it was probably like 40 bucks, something. I don't know. I don't think it was like 60 bucks. I don't think it was a full title.
Yeah,
But they saw this Battle Royale genre. They're like, "Holy crap, we can actually do something with it." So in September of 2017, the same year, they released Fortnite Battle Royale. And like you said, the biggest thing with that, free to play.
yeah,
So there was actually in the beginning and almost throughout the entire time that PUBG and Fortnite were bouncing back and forth of the top title on Twitch, there was a lot of controversy.
yeah,
Uh, Bluehole was really mad at Fortnite, primarily due to the fact that Bluehole PUBG was using engine, which is Epic's engine. That's the engine they use. That's theirs. They were basically selling it to
which
releasing it
engine was that
rather.
you cut out?
Sorry, Unreal Engine,
The Unreal Engine. Okay.
and they were like, "Oh, well, they can see all that we're doing, and then they can go develop our stuff into the game, into Fortnite Battle Royale, and cheap PUBG out of their limelight, essentially." In 2018, PUBG filed a lawsuit against Epic Games, but it didn't go anywhere. No one thought it would, and eventually, Bluehole just canceled it. They were like, "No, we're not doing this," and we don't really know why. We know why, but they never disclosed the reasons for stopping the law.
Yeah,
And for all the crap, and we've talked about this in past podcasts, for all the crap that we give Fortnite and Epic, they did it right. I mean, out of all
hmm,
of the battle royale games, Fortnite's probably, and this hurts me to say, is probably by far the best. They have the most community interaction. They
yeah,
have the most updates, the most content. They just did it right. I mean, they looked at the mistakes that PUBG made and they capitalized. And as a business, bravo to
hmm.
them.
I would say this. It's by far probably the most popular. Is it the best? Eh. I don't. I don't know about that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because well, for my taste, it's not the best. Um, but the game definitely, like you said, it does. It tailors to a lot of people that enjoy that, and it's got a great community. I mean, people love that game. Like I thought that game was gonna die off like a couple years ago. Like I thought once 2017 hit, came big. I thought it was just gonna die and tank within 2018, but here it is, end of 2019, going into 2020, and it's still going strong, which is pretty unreal for a game.
It's definitely going strong. I don't think it's where it was. For sure. I think it's definitely dropped off a bit as other games have come out, and I don't know, I feel like in general, battle royale games have kind of started to slow down a lot. It's
Hmm.
definitely not the excitement and hype that we saw end of 2017 all throughout 2018 and, a good bit of 2019. Um, but, those, Call of Duty Blackout, uh, Battlefield 5 Firestorm, which no one talked about. That game
No,
was
yeah,
just I'd say it's bad, but, like, it's not even bad because no one played it. That's the issue. I mean,
yeah,
Battlefield 5 as a game in general tanked. It was a
yeah.
horrible game.
It did. I
Um
mean, going back to Call of Duty Blackout, I liked Call of Duty Blackout a lot. I liked Call of Duty Black Ops 4. It was a great game. Uh, but now that Modern Warfare is out, I notice how much more I enjoy Modern Warfare over the Call of Duty. Or over. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, I like the Modern Warfare over Black
Uh-huh.
Ops mainly because the time to kill is different and it
Mhm.
feels more natural to me. It almost feels more of like a rainbow sense, and with the gun mechanics and everything like that. But going back to Black Ops 4, it still had that futuristic kind of feel to it for me, really.
Mhm.
Um, so when it transferred over to Blackout, it still had the feel of this is a great battle royale game, but
Mhm.
it's not like PUBG. It's not like Fortnite at all either. It's kind of its own little thing because the map's still pretty small.
Right.
Uh, but they basically just stuck with one map, I think, forever. They changed a couple things every once in a while, added different places and whatnot, kind of like what Fortnite does, except for now that they came out with their new map. Um, but the game itself, Blackout, was fun to play for a little bit. I played it competitively for actually money a couple times, and I did all right with it. It was fun, but it lost its taste real fast, and I think it's because not a lot of people liked it. I know my friends didn't particularly like it over time, so that kind of killed it for me because it definitely, with all battle royale games, I like to play with somebody else because you do feel like a kind
Sure.
of like a loner if you play by yourself with it, and it can get pretty boring quickly like that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I agree 100% the whole blackout. It got stale quick. Now, it was fun at the beginning, and I think the health system worked great in Blackout. It
mm,
didn't work great in the multiplayer for Call of Duty 4, but Blackout worked great. I mean, you have to have some sort of health system like that. You have to have 100 health or whatever it is. You have to have
yeah,
some sort of system, and all the battle royale games have that.
hmm,
Now I found myself enjoying PUBG more than Blackout. I didn't find it as stale. I don't know why. I don't know why everything else was fine, and I keep playing it. I didn't really get bored, but Blackout was like, it's fun. I'm bored of it now. I don't know what it is.
yeah. Well, with Blackout, I feel like every basically every battle royale has an armor system where whether it's
Mhm,
PUBG you have level 3 armor, or if it's Apex you have gold or purple armor.
mhm,
um, but Blackout in the beginning, level 3 armor was basically you were like a juggernaut. I mean, you
right.
were a tank. No, you couldn't really get killed unless you literally got blindsided. I feel like they had a lot of problems with the armor system because whether it made them too strong or it just felt like you died right away sometimes when you were wearing the armor. I just feel like it kind of had a lot of bugs in that aspect, which kind of pissed me off, honestly, and made me want to move on from that game.
I think they put themselves in a weird spot, because in the beginning with Blackout, it was basically you have your armor and it absorbs bullets, it absorbs damage. Once it's busted, you need to go get new armor.
Hmm.
Right? That's how it kind of is. Well, actually, no game really had that. Well, PUBG did.
PUBG does
PUBG
that.
had that system. Where Fortnite is, you have the little blue vials, whatever you drink, blurps and whatnot. The issue with Blackout is they switched it, right? They went back or they went to you have the armor repair thing. You have to fix the armor when it breaks instead of going and get new armor. I
Yeah,
didn't like that change simply because now that's one more thing I had to carry. Like I
yeah,
get why they did it, and technically speaking, it's a better system to have the armor repair. Um, I couldn't do it, man. It threw me off. The movement felt weird when I went back to it after I stopped playing it for a while. I don't know. I think Apex Legends, that's my game. It's
Yeah.
better in my opinion, it's better than PUBG, it's better than Fortnite, it's better than Blackout. We won't even talk about Firestorm. I think
No.
Apex Legends is the pinnacle of the game.
Yeah. Well, falling back, one more thing about Blackout before we move on. I'd have to disagree with you on the armor plating. I felt like that was a great change to the game. I felt like it because if you couldn't find, like in PUBG, say you're wearing level 3 armor and then all of a sudden it's just gone. You
Mhm,
literally have to scoop for what if you're in the finals, you have to find whatever is on the ground. If it's a level 1 or level 1 helmet, it doesn't matter. You've got to grab that and go with it.
mhm.
Whereas in Blackout, you could have level 3 basically the whole game, as long as you keep those little repair kits on you, the armor plating. So it was definitely a nice change, but enough about Blackout. Well, I don't know. You got anything else to add to it?
I do actually, yeah. So with your PUBG comment, like I don't know, I really enjoyed it, right? Because another side you got to think about, right? So if you kill a guy and he has that level 3 helmet, but it's one shot, you
Mhm.
risk it. You take the level 3 so you can tank a Car 98, an
That's
M40
that's an easy bet.
shot to the head, right? I would always do it. I would
Oh
always
yeah,
take it.
you always think that.
Or do you keep the level 2 that's full, right? It's one of
Hmm.
those things where now one shot to the head, now you don't have anything. Now one AR is going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is Blackout only had literally armor. Like you pick up the armor, that's a full coat of armor. You don't have a helmet. I mean, it's basically already in the armor. So that was kind of interesting to me that they just had the one thing that you have to grab and go. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, it's cool. Well, I don't know if cool is the right word. It's interesting, right? Because PUBG has you grab a helmet, you grab an armor, like a chest armor. Once they're broken, you find new stuff.
Mhm.
Fortnite has no armor system. You just have
Yeah.
the slurps, and that's it. There's no helmets. There's no chests. Blackout has just like you said, one armor, but you repair it. You don't have to necessarily go grab new armor.
Yeah.
Whereas Apex Legends has a helmet and a chest armor, but the helmet only does like reduces headshot damage. Armor is the thing you can actually fix, which is weird hybrid combination between all four.
Yeah. They definitely steal a lot of ideas from one another, I believe. Which
Well, I think you're
basically,
so limited
yeah,
though.
you're so limited after that that you really can't make much difference.
I think the biggest thing, and one of my biggest annoyances with Epic, is that they have mostly stolen everything
Yeah, really,
from
I don't feel
other
like they made
people.
anything new.
They really haven't. I mean, some of the mechanics they are their own, but like just all. I mean, think about
Well,
when Apex Legends came out, right? Apex Legends was a battle royale game where you could revive your friends when they
mhm.
get killed off. That was a huge grab for a lot of players in PUBG and Fortnite. Like when you used to die, you were dead. Like you couldn't be brought back. You're stuck,
There
and
was
that was
nothing
really
more
annoying.
annoying than dying when you were the first to die in the squad and you have to watch the squad
Watch
go.
the entire time.
And most of the games
Apex
are 30 minutes.
They can be, yeah, for sure. And Apex Legends came out, was like, "Hey, we see you. That sucks. Here, we have this spawn beacon. You die, they can get your card and revive you." That was huge. People
Yeah.
loved that. What did Fortnite do? They took it. They stole it. They the exact idea. Oh, we see the success over here. Let's go grab it. Like it didn't. People were like, "Okay, you obviously stole that." For like, it's like, no, that was an original idea.
Yeah.
Same thing. Apex Legends. What did they have? They had a pinging system. What did Fortnite do? They took it.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just
Basically
that's my
the only thing that Fortnite has is the building mechanic. They obviously
right.
made the building mechanic, but
Mhm.
I mean, not a big fan of the building mechanic. It's
Nope.
cool, but not a big fan of it.
Nope. I'm not good enough for it. I'll say it. I'm not good enough for it. I don't want
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. It's definitely difficult to get good at building, but I see some of these kids start building, and it's like, holy hell! I'm watching insane. Just I know that person's going crazy on that keyboard, bro. I know that shit's on fire. You know what I mean? They're
Hey,
literally
Bob the Builder
burning.
on crack.
Exactly. They're building a castle in front of my eyes, and all I did was tank a shot at them, and they're just making the castle, brother. Like what in the world?
I actually have a cool fact about Apex Legends, and this is kind of, a win in my corner favorite game. Apex Legends exceeded 50 million players within the first month of its release.
Wow.
50 million. Now it's a free to play game, that's
Hmm.
With these style of games, in my opinion, that's the way to go. It's not to charge people to play the game. If you make it free to play, you're gonna make more money. You just
Yeah.
sell stuff in game, in a store, cosmetics.
Well,
But
that just goes down to marketing because it's if you market the game for free, people are going to be
Mhm.
like, "Well, why not try?" It's
Right.
almost like cigarettes, dude. Like, why not just take one hit? My buddy's got a cigarette. I'll just take a hit off of it, and then you get hooked and you're buying cigarettes. So it's
Yep.
basically these kids, young kids, are downloading these games, playing them for free, and then everybody else has these skins, and they're like, "Mom, get your credit card over here because I'm balling out, baby." And then that's basically what they do.
Yeah.
So it is a good way to make extra money. I think you make more money that way than you ever
Yeah.
do selling a $60 game.
Mhm.
So
Well, it's a juggle, right? Because we've all I paid $60 for this game. Why don't I have all the content?
yeah,
Whereas I didn't spend any money on this game, but I can if I choose to, and there are people that don't, and that's
yeah.
fine.
I've not spent $1 on PUBG ever. I
I
I
might have.
I
I don't
don't.
know actually.
I think I've spent $10 on Apex for some battle packs or whatever they are, Apex packs. Like you get 10 of them, I think, for like $10 or something. I did that.
Yeah, it's 1,000.
Fortnite, I have never spent $1 on. Call of Duty Blackout, never spent $1 on. So, I mean, they lost money on me basically.
Yeah, I mean, I spent money on Fortnite back when it was good. I spent money. I don't think I spent any on Blackout. I don't really know if I've spent stuff on PUBG. I think I just use the in-game currency, which I love having in-game currency. Siege does
Yeah.
it. It's great. Apex Legends, I've spent more money than I care to share here. Um, but if I can and I want to and I want to support the game, great. Now,
Yeah.
even though Apex Legends is my favorite game, they aren't free from my criticism. They've done some really shady stuff just with a bunch of the different things that you can buy. Essentially, they've locked a bunch of the coolest stuff behind an exorbitant amount of money you have to spend to get. When it comes to like the heirlooms that they have for the individual characters, and for those that don't know, when you put your weapon away, usually you just run your fists out, but an heirloom is basically a melee weapon that you have in your hand. So
Yeah.
three of the characters have them right now: Wraith, Bloodhound, and Lifeline. Um, the Wraith one was just gambling. I mean, you had to gamble money to get it. It was random. The Bloodhound one was locked behind. You had to buy a bunch of different packs for one of these special events. You had to spend something of like $200+ to get it.
Jeez.
I think it was actually like 240. It's like $200 bought you all the packs. And then once you bought all the packs, you were then allowed to spend $40 more to get the heirloom. Like, it was really dumb. They got so much crap for it. And actually, the devs of the game kind of exploded at people on Reddit. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then the third one, Lifeline, that came out, I think they changed it up a little bit. I think it was like $80 or something to buy all the packs, and then you could buy the heirloom. I don't know. I didn't really look into it. I didn't care enough.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of shady business, like you said. I don't agree with that at all. That actually kind of pisses me off from a game that I actually enjoy a lot. But it is your choice whether you want to spend that much money to get it or not.
mhm,
The heirloom's not going to cause you to be any better at the game. If you suck at the game, you're just trash. That's all there is.
right. Well, and like I guess I can, to a degree, I can kind of give them credit learning from their mistakes. Rather, I
Mhm.
mean, with that second, with the first event, rather, when it came to Bloodhound and getting his, like I said, you had to buy all the packs to get access to the heirloom. But the issue was with the individual items in the packs, you couldn't just buy like, "Oh, hey, this skin on Lifeline, I really love. I want just this skin." You couldn't just buy that skin. You had to gamble. You had to randomly get a pack and pray that that item was in there. You didn't know. It was a random chance that you got it. Whereas with the second one, where it was with the Lifeline heirloom, you could just buy the random skin. You didn't have to gamble away and hope to get it.
Yeah.
You just, hey, I like this skin, let me buy it. So they're learning, but I don't know. It's just like I feel like they would make so much more money if they just gave you access to the heirloom instead of having to buy every single thing. I
I
don't know.
mean, even if they just put the heirloom on there for like $10, people would just, buy it.
Oh, it'd
Um,
be more expensive. 20, $30. People would
yeah,
still buy it.
exactly. Like,
Bought
well, with
buying everything.
with Rainbow, their elite skins, what are they? $20 a pop? I can't
15, yeah.
I can't tell you how many games I've gone into and seen elite skins. So I
Oh,
mean,
I bought a bunch.
people will spend money if you put it there, but people get pissed off if you do shady things like you said before. And
Right.
then that makes them not want to buy anything from you. So it just comes down to, relations with your
Uh-huh.
community. Don't be a dick, and then you'll make money.
Yeah, I mean,
So
just like put things on the table, be transparent,
yeah,
don't be shady.
that's a huge thing. Being transparent and being a cool company to work with will take you a long way in the end because people want to buy your game, and then also they'll trust you. They won't feel like you're
Right.
trying to hide things.
R-
Um,
and yes, yes, that's the thing. It's 2019.
mhm,
It's almost 2020.
yeah,
You don't hide anything.
no,
You
nothing
can't.
can
It's
be
the
hidden.
internet.
Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like EA is probably the worst at that. So
Well, EA's I love Apex Legends, but EA as a company,
yeah,
as a publisher rather, my goodness, they're probably my most hated
yeah,
because they're just so sketchy
they
and
are.
everything is just a money grab. Which like again, it's a business. I get, do your thing. But who would I rather spend money on? A company that I actually like
Hmm.
or a company that's really sketchy, has been known to be crappy? Look at Blizzard, the tank that they got, that they
Yeah,
just completely screwed up with the whole Hong Kong crap. I mean, do you know how much hate and just backlash that they got? Just don't pick.
exactly. I mean, it really comes down to that, which I think companies they can't really hide from anymore because they do. They have a lot of streamers out there, and the streamers have big communities. And once one streamer or even just people on Reddit start figuring out, they
Yeah.
just put it on blast, dude, and everybody figures it out. And then it doesn't take long to piss people off. And once you
Yeah.
do, you got a problem.
Well, the other thing is like, and this is kind of off topic, but still related. People on the internet bandwagon. They
Oh
do.
yeah.
Now, this might be kind of controversial for this podcast, but pineapple on pizza, it makes sense.
It makes complete sense. I love
You
pineapple on
have
pizza.
the salty greasiness on pizza that, scientifically speaking, you can't eat an exorbitant amount of pizza. Now, you might be able to, but it's harder because the greasiness coats your throat
I can eat a
and it's
whole
just harder
pizza,
to eat
baby.
more.
Medium, large.
Anyway,
I got
the
it.
acidity of the pineapple cuts through the grease. Not to mention, you just have the salt and sweet. Like it complements, it works. But
Mhm.
the internet says it doesn't. So no one. But it's the same way with this with the video game companies or in just companies in general. You do something stupid, people are going to hate it, and then more people, without understanding it, are going to
Wow,
jump on
yeah,
board and hate.
exactly. I mean, it doesn't take long to become a Reddit thread, and then people just start hating it for no reason. I mean, like Blackout and games like that, I believe they were really good games, but then people just, started hating them and then they just kind of died.
Right.
So, I mean, it can happen really quick.
Hmm. I don't know. Well, okay, so let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
What do you think the future of battle royale games is?
So, I feel like Call of Duty and Battlefield will probably learn from their mistakes of ever trying to get into the Battle Royale, and they'll probably not do it again. Um, I would absolutely love to see PUBG do something, whether it's remake their game or come up with another new PUBG with a new, not server, but a new, what am I looking for? Game engine, to make the
Okay.
game run a lot smoother. That would be awesome because I think PUBG had the best ideas. I feel like the modern guns, the modern look of the game, it just made the game feel fun. I mean, I always have liked military shooters as it is.
Yeah.
The feel of just having a squad with you and looking around and being like, man, this feels like I'm literally in this forest or in this desert and I'm running with my homies, man. I mean, I like that. I like the feel of that. Not saying I don't like the cartoony feel of Apex, but I enjoy more realistic, modern time uh, shooters. So I feel like PUBG could really do something big if they keep on either going with this game and continuing to make it better. Um, Now I don't know how the market is gonna do with more battle royales. I feel like
Mhm.
people. I feel like they kind of killed it. I feel like they really pumped out too many games, and kind of saturated the market with it now. And people are kind of like, all right, battle royales, I'm getting very bored of.
Right.
So that's almost why Fortnite has to continue. I mean, almost every couple months they're coming out with something new, to try to keep people interested. And if they don't, then they're going to lose a lot of people in pretty much a whole genre of gaming.
Hmm. I think it's interesting because like we have a Call of Duty every year. We have racing games every year. We have the same FIFA and Madden and whatever games every year. It's the same thing.
It
Don't tell me
is.
it's different.
It is.
With the Battle Royale, the games have been so different. PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, but they've been so good, right? Where how do you top the best? I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't really necessarily see a future. I think eventually it'll probably come back in another wave. Um, but I think we're on the back end of the hype for battle royale games. I really do.
Yeah, speaking of that, I don't know if you ever played. Well, I know you haven't played DayZ yet, but DayZ almost has a battle royale feel to it, where it's definitely more of a survival game, but you go into this world, and you're just fighting to pretty much survive, and being the best of the best out there. So games like that I really enjoy, but it's almost like a whole different genre of gaming, but it still has kind of the battle royale feel to it. I know that there was another battle royale that came out, to PC. Was it called Planet Side, I believe, or something like that?
Mm, sounds. I mean, and there's been the other stuff. There's been like Ring of Elysium.
Yeah, they
There's
were
been
they were smaller, and
right,
I don't know if they're still in pre-release, or exactly what's going on with them. But they either didn't make it because of the bigger titles.
right.
Um, so I don't know. I feel like it's, since the market got so oversaturated so quickly, that the bigger brands were going to stick out, more than the smaller brands, and that could have killed a lot of interesting things that could have came out of it. You never know. One of the small
Hmm.
guys could have made a really great game, but it got just overcasted by the bigger guys. Um, I would love to see a new developer come out and just take the battle royale by storm, get rid of PUBG, Fortnite, Blackout, Firestorm, Apex, and just become the best battle royale out there. Really, I mean, if they mixed it all up, if they took everything that they know and everything that they've done and made it into one game, that'd be pretty damn cool.
I wonder how that would work though. I mean, just because of the uniqueness for me, the PUBG is the realistic game.
Yeah,
Fortnite's the cartoony, built to the sky game. Apex Legends is individual people have different skills, so that's their unique trait. I think the movement in Apex Legends is it feels the
so
best, like
yeah,
compared to other games.
so you could take the movement from Apex and the specialists, whatever you want to call it, legends from Apex and their abilities, put it into a PUBG feel of guns and attachments and the modern weapons. Fortnite doesn't even exist. And I mean, something like that, and mash it together. That would be pretty cool. I would, because Apex, hands down, has the best movement and the feel out there. I enjoy it.
Mhm.
It was close to, well, Blackout came later than Apex, but Blackout kind of stole the movement from Apex, I believe, with the sliding and everything. Um, I mean, I like the movement of Apex. I wish that that was in a PUBG kind of feel, of movement. I don't know. There's a lot to be done, and
Right.
I just don't know if it'll be done correctly.
Well, that's the thing, like you said, there's been so many games that battle royale styles that have come out that just haven't done well, and whether
Yeah.
that's from, like you said, the overshadowing of the top 3, or whether it was just poor mechanics, right? Just this game just doesn't compare to these other ones, thus, sales, its player count,
Yeah.
whatever, didn't do as well, so the company was like, "Ah, we'll scrap it, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna work."
Well, that's the thing. I feel like, and this goes back with you saying bandwagon and everything. If a streamer plays a game, and whether they're having a bad day that day and they're not doing well in a game, and this new game comes out and they send them a code for an early access or whatever it is, and then they play it and they're not having a very good day with shots or whatever, they go, "Oh, this game sucks." And as if they say that, then people jump on the bandwagon, and then that game will never ever make it anywhere. So I don't know. I
That's
mean,
interesting.
it's definitely something to think about. I don't know. It's hard to say if Battle Royale's dead or if it's going to come back in full swing. I know people like it. I know people enjoy it because there's big communities for PUBG, Fortnite, and Apex. But I just don't know what they can do to spice it up to make it, you know, light the fire again, basically.
Well, it's interesting because if you look at the numbers, if we were just taking Twitch, we're just taking streamer numbers, it's nowhere. None of the games, the top three, let's say, PUBG, Fortnite, Apex Legends, none of them are where they're at from their peak.
Yeah.
So I don't honestly, personally, don't see it resurging. I don't see it coming back. I don't see a new game coming and taking it over. I think for now we're done. We're stuck with what we have.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel
But
like they'll continue to update the games, and
yeah, no, for sure.
we'll just have to see what they decide and whether or not they want to continue with the battle royale or not. I mean, I'm not a developer, so I don't know what else could be done. Um, I don't know. You got anything else to add?
I think that's about it. Well, I'm pretty sure I've had some audio issues on my end, most likely. I think
Yeah, I
overall
mean,
sound better, but
as you guys know, our podcast is something that we do on the side right now. We're trying to get better at it every time that we make a podcast. So if we do have connection issues and or microphone issues, it's all to be expected. I mean, we're trying our best. We're going to continue to make this podcast better and better each time that we do it. I mean, Stuart's already invested a good amount of money in his side. I've invested plenty of money into this whole setup and rig that I have. But we will continue to make it better and just because I enjoy doing it. I really enjoy,
yeah.
45 minutes to an hour of just talking about games. I love video games, and I know you do too. And I know our audience, you guys enjoy it. So like I said, we'll just continue to work and make these podcasts as best as we can.
We love feedback.
Yeah, feedback's big. Anything you guys got, if you want to message us or, just get in contact with us and talk to us, you can get in contact with us at Gaming is the Mission on either YouTube or Instagram. Just DM me or whatever you want to do. Leave comments. Just let us know what we can do better, what you want to hear about next, topics that we could go over. I know that some people have talked to me about topics they want to hear, such as Rainbow, which Stu and I both are very, very well versed in the Rainbow world, which they actually have new operators coming out soon, which is pretty interesting. And then also a couple other people said games that are kind of dead, like Halo. And I was
PC, it's coming out. Just saying.
Yeah, true.
Or it did come out something.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just keep us updated with what you guys want to hear. I'm thirsty as hell right now. My water ran out like 20 minutes ago, bro, dude. And I'm like sitting here dying. I'm like, I need to get some water. But we thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Thank you for just listening to us talk, for 50 minutes. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys again in the next one. Peace.
Peace.